underage girls, 1,000%.
So if Trump was with a 17-year-old
I'll say it
girl
again. When he was 40 years old, yes.
So you want
it's
Trump
called
to go to jail?
pedophilia. Hold on, let me ask you. Is it illegal? Can you have sex with a 17-year-old in New York?
35 states.
In New York?
Oh, in 35 states? Well, technically, it's not illegal to fuck a 16-year-old because in the statute of limitations, it's like, do you see the implications of your questions or the implications of what you're trying to defend here? It gets even worse.
The age is 16, and then in certain states it's 18. According to some Muslim scriptures, you could be 9.
So it's
What? Listen to the argumentation. Listen to the cope. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Based Network. I'm your host, the Cope Crusader. Where have you been? Shut up. Okay? You know, I want to make these videos when I want to make these videos, okay? I love you guys. Non-existent fans out there. So today we're probably talking about one of the most consequential stories in modern history. Something that I think will define Donald Trump's administration. In the same way, when you ask a layman what they think of Bill Clinton, they think of Monica Lewinsky and the fact that he was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 26 times. I think this story will be the same effect with Donald Trump's administration. I don't really want to talk too much in detail about Donald Trump's connections, about the whole Jeffrey Epstein cover-up. There are many videos out there that you can watch that break it down very concisely and probably say it better than I could. What I do want to talk about is something that I think is a little more subtextual, something that a lot of people aren't paying attention to, mainly because it's kind of hard to spot. I want to talk about the fake America First influencers who are actually just Donald Trump first and MAGA first. And I think this specific issue kind of puts a highlight on that because this really separates the goats from the lamb. You know what I mean? This separates the people who are paying attention. What do you think about Jeffrey Epstein? If you're a regular person on the street and I ask you that, you'll go, oh, the guy's, probably connected with the FBI. This guy's, probably talking to very rich people. Something shady happened. I don't think he really killed himself. That's the normal consensus, right? But specifically with influencers, I think it really shows who's bought out, who is not just bought out money-wise, but also bought out because they're audience capture, or even literally money-wise, like who's paying them and who is giving them special access. I have a couple influencers I want to talk about, but first I do want to sum up what's going on. And I found a pretty good excerpt from this article that explains pretty concisely of what the problem is, why people are upset about this. And I have some clips about Donald Trump showing why people think he's starting to look a little suspicious. The Department of Justice infuriated Donald Trump's base when it released a memo last week, unsigned by the way, it wasn't signed by anybody, concluding that Jeffrey Epstein died by a suicide in 2019 in his Manhattan jail cell. It also concluded that the government does not possess the list of wealthy and powerful business people and politicians connected to Epstein. The memo threw a wrench in years of conspiracy theories that Trump supporters peddled about Epstein's death, as well as public statements that administrative officials, including Attorney General Pam Bondi, Vice President J.D. Vance, and others too, peddled the conspiracy theory and suggest that the government was covering up the client list, specifically when they were out of government and they could blame Joe Biden for not exposing it. This is pretty huge, specifically because Jeffrey Epstein is a bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter if you're left, it doesn't matter if you're on the right, you can look at something and say, something ain't right here. Especially, too, because it's not just Republican politicians who are bought out, it's Democratic politicians as well, who act in a very specific way and are very scared to release the documents. Again, I don't want to go too into detail about the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. I want to talk about more about the influencers themselves, of what's going on. And I want to talk about what differentiates between an America First influencer or a MAGA First, Donald Trump First influencer. Someone who's there for the money, because they know Donald Trump has a lot of fans. Someone who's there solely for propaganda, solely to play cover. Let's get into it. You can typically find out when someone is Donald Trump First or MAGA First when, before they criticize the Trump administration, they think about optics. They go, oh, how is this going to look on Donald Trump's administration? They're playing the game of Democrat versus Republican constantly, and they think that if you criticize Donald Trump, that's basically giving chips to Democrats. This kind of ideology is destructive for our society. We need to be able to criticize people that are on our side in order to actually get things going. When people talk about the uniparty, right, there's one party that really votes the same way every time, even though they bicker about little issues like whether or not trans kids should be able to go to school and compete in sports. They're kind of unified in terms of like foreign policy, economic policy, and things like this. Jeffrey Epstein is involved. Because even though there were some votes to expose it, and it's pretty split between party lines, Democrats and Republicans, I guarantee you if this was the Biden administration, they'd be doing the same thing. It's not just Republicans who are bought out, and also implicit in this, it's Democrats as well. And this is how you can tell if a media influencer is a Trump first and MAGA first instead of America first. And also, too, when a regular person is consuming this kind of content. A regular casual consumer of this kind of content typically make arguments around the trust the process, bro. Trust the process. Trust Donald Trump. Or they'll hit you with like a million but Bidens. Oh, but Biden did this. Oh, but Biden did this. Like, we're talking about Trump now, right? We're talking about Trump. He's the one in the administration. Biden is literally in a geriatric home playing fucking bingo, tickling his prostate, whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing there, but he's not in the picture anymore. We're talking about Donald Trump here. And that's kind of how you tell whether or not someone is consuming this kind of content. And the reason they say that is because, surprise, surprise, their influencers are saying the same thing. To spot a Trump first influencer, it's obvious. Another important phrase that they'll bring up, specifically with this situation, is you think Donald Trump is lying? It's like heresy. It's like, if I went to church and I was like, oh, I don't think this Jesus guy is cool. You don't think Jesus is cool? That's the whole point of us being here. You know what I'm saying? It's like that level of shock and horror when you even implicate Donald Trump as lying. Even if you hint at Donald Trump as lying, they kind of have this like heresy reaction. Oh, how dare you say that? You think Donald Trump is lying to us? You saw that pretty blatantly when Kash Patel went on Joe Rogan Experience and he was like, well, you think we're lying? Will we lie to you? Yes, we think you would lie to us. Yes. Yes, you're the FBI. Yes, I think you would lie to us. Is that a crazy ass thing to say? Maybe not. Maybe it is. And I think it's specifically very telling because anyone with an ounce of human experience, I'm talking about you've went outside and you spoke to another person before, right? Very difficult things to do. I know touching grass is hard, but you've went outside, you've spoken to regular people before. Maybe you've had a sales job. Maybe you had a retail job. And you can tell when someone's kind of BSing you to your face. Someone's withholding information. They're tiptoeing around a topic. You can kind of tell these things when you're like an experienced human and you've had interactions with other people before. And one thing that people are really pointing towards is Donald Trump is having this same kind of reaction. Anytime Epstein is brought up in Trump's vicinity, he acts very, very, very strange. And I caught some clips to bring this home, specifically because it's important for the other clips we're going to bring up, specifically with these right-wing influencers who are defending Trump. I think it basically destroys their entire argument. But let's get into these clips. So one of the first clips I wanted to bring up. Who the frickety frick are my headphones, mate? Where the fuck are my headphones, mate? Shit, boy.
It's all been a big hoax.
It's all been a big hoax. So you guys probably seen this clip before. This is Donald Trump basically calling the entire Jeffrey Epstein situation a big hoax. I just want to play it because it's really the hubris when he's speaking, but...
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes.
Yeah, and I think it's important to really talk about that duality, right? The Democrats. This has nothing to do with Democrat versus Republican, bro. This is American citizens versus the government. This is as much as you can get to us. Let me take these headphones off. This is as close. Put that there. This is as close as you can get to an us versus them situation. Okay? This is the government of the United States covering up of the trafficking and rape. I don't know if I'm going to get demonetized saying that. Of children, essentially, to blackmail politicians and businessmen for whom? We don't know. Possibly Mossad, possibly just casually the CIA. Could be another foreign actor, who knows? But this is like a big story. And for him to just go, the Democrats. Like, it's like a spell that he's used to using. He's used to just hitting you with the Democrat ray. The Democrats! Just get laser beamed instantly. And your mind gets wiped and you're like, you know what? Yeah, the Democrats are bad. Actually, you know what, Donald Trump? You're right. I love you, Donald Trump. I love you, Donald Trump. It's like going, I love Israel. It's the same level of brainwashing Trump is used to doing, but it's not working because his base knows. Again, this is as close as you can get to us versus them. This is as close as you can get to bipartisanship. People are not buying it. Another clip I wanted to bring up with Donald Trump is when someone asked him a question about Jeffrey Epstein, and this is his reaction to it, and it's pretty, I don't know. Look at it yourself.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Yeah, and again, this goes with the same kind of argumentation. It's like, so you're saying we can't care about two things at the same time? That's a logical fallacy, okay? Because I'm going broke right now, right? I have no money in my pocket. I can't buy food. And my house is also burning down. Now imagine I'm going to call the fire department and they go, you don't have no bread, bro. You got to focus on making money right now. It's like we have a fire going on. This is a logical fallacy, which he knows is a logical fallacy. He knows this argument doesn't make any sense, but he's saying it because he thinks that he could just mind wipe Republicans because they do act in this way. Typically, when Donald Trump says something, Republicans follow suit because it's easier that way. Donald Trump is a very influential figure, and his talking points ring home pretty well with Republicans. But this time, it's not working because, again, people know what being genuine is, and this is so weird because they've been talking about releasing the Epstein files for the longest time. Donald Trump tiptoed around it, which I'm going to show in my next clip, but his entire administration has been talking about it this entire time. He made a task force. He brought a bunch of influencers to the White House lawn, which used to mean something, to release phase 1 of the Epstein files, which was bullshit. And then now he says there's no client list, even though they all said there was a client list. It's very strange. People are waking up to it, and they're saying this doesn't make any sense. And this is another clip I wanted to bring up. Let me see if I can make this full screen. This is probably one of the more telling situations of Donald Trump, and I brought this up in one of my previous videos. Mainly because it's very telling. Let's just watch it.
If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these.
Yeah.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
And that was, disregard this guy's grinning evil face, that was before he even got elected. Right? And he was telling you this from the jump because he knows he's in those files. Sorry, the guy was best friends with Epstein for 10 years. You don't think he's somewhere in the files? Even somewhat? He knows he's in there. He thinks it's bad optics. He's either trying to cover it up because he doesn't want his name at all, or it's like worst case scenario, he's completely being blackmailed. I want to continue and talk about this new story that broke recently about Donald Trump's birthday letter to Epstein. This is something that's actually absolutely wild. And again, I want to preface before I start talking about this that this could well be fake. And there has been fake stuff about Trump in the past. And I'm not saying that this is 100% truthful. Donald Trump actually sued the person who wrote this and the Wall Street Journal and the owner of the Wall Street Journal. And I hope that goes to court. I hope they don't settle because I want this to go to arbitration. I want them to go and go to discovery. And I want them to see all the evidence and see if this letter is real. The Wall Street Journal on Thursday evening reported that President Trump sent a 50th birthday letter to the infamous predator Jeffrey Epstein in 2003, containing a signed sketch of a naked woman and the ominous caption, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Trump denied the letter was actually him on the grounds that he has never wrote a picture in his life. This is like, I don't know if you guys remember the interview of Prince Andrew when he was talking to the reporter, and one of the reporter asked him and was like, hey, again, because he was connected with Jeffrey Epstein, and with the victim at the time, she remembers saying that Andrew was extremely sweaty. And his argument to that was, well, actually, I'm going to do a British accent. Well, actually, I can't sweat. I have a very medical condition at the specific time that I was there, and I can't sweat at all. And then there's a photo of him with the same girl sweating his nuts off. And I'm gonna pop this here. Like, it's a meme, right? It's literally a meme. Oh, I don't draw pictures. Like, what kind of fucking argument is that? Whatever. Wall Street Journal printed a fake letter, supposedly to Epstein. These are not my words, not the way I talk. I don't draw pictures. Trump said on Truth Social last night. Funny as fuck, Truth Social. I'm gonna do a truth. I told Rupert Murdoch it was a scam and he shouldn't print fake stories, but he did, and now I'm going to sue his ass off. And he said, thank you for attention on this matter, DJT. I like that ending. Yeah, so if this letter is real, since he denied it, it implicates Trump 100%. Okay? At least, if he didn't deny it, he would have plausible deniability that, oh, this was just, we were friends back in the day before I knew, blah, 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 blah. Since he's denying it, saying, I never wrote that letter, I don't draw pictures, if this letter ends up being true, it implicates him 100%. 100%. Because why would you lie about that? If you did write the letter, why would you lie? The only reason he would lie is to cover his own ass. There's another quote of that letter that was, I didn't have it written down here, but it said, don't you know enigmas never age? That's a very strange thing to say. That's a very strange thing to write to a prolific predator like Jeffrey Epstein. But now that we have the groundwork, I made the foundation, why this topic is very suspicious, and a lot of Republicans and a lot of right-leaning people are accurately criticizing Donald Trump for this, because this is insane and it goes against the ideals of the administration, drain the swamp and all that, all those types of things. I wanted to bring up some of these MAGA first, these Trump first influencers, and have them kind of flail around and defend this, even though obviously there's no defending this. The first person I want to bring up, this guy annoys me so much. His name is like Adam Susnick from the PBD podcast. Adam Sosnick, that's his name. Adam Sosnick, PBD podcast. This guy is a bad take generator, okay? He's one of those Zoltar fortune-telling bots. You slip a coin in, you go, boodly boop, boodly boop. We should lower the age of consent to 13. Like, what am I reading here? You can take a little slip. What am I reading here? That's literally Adam Sucks Dick, okay? That's literally how this guy rolls. Every time I watch him on the PBD podcast, he always has to be a contrarian with very simple things. That's like, we could just agree on this. There's no point of you fighting back. The guy's obviously Israel first. If you look at any of the argumentations he had with Vinny or other people on the podcast, he holds Israel's national security above America's. He's constantly playing defense for them. And this is just another one of his terrible takes. And seriously, this is something where it's like, you have to look inward. The thing with PBD podcast has to look inward and be like, is this guy a predator? Because I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to stop BSing you. Did you ever think you would make it? I love the...
And so
this is the first podcast that the PBD crew made after the whole Epstein situation dropped with Donald Trump. And this is kind of their first initial reactions. And I want to cover over Adam's initial reaction because, again, it really shows that he's Trump first. He is not America first. He is MAGA first. He is not America first. He worries more about the optics of the Trump administration than justice for American citizens who were abused and trafficked by this prolific monster, Jeffrey Epstein. So let's continue with this.
And now what's going to happen? The American people, in a week, we're going to forget about this. In 1 week, you're going to forget about them lying their asses off to us, and it's ridiculous.
So true.
Adam, thoughts?
I knew Vinny was going to be fired up about this. So Jeffrey Epstein, at this point, I'm not even sure what's real and what's a rumor at this point. You know, people like Vinny, and I mean this sincerely, wake up every day and they're like, where's the Epstein files? Where are we at? That's not...
This is another thing that a lot of these Trump first influencers do with his defense. Why do you care so much, bro? Why do you care? It's like you wake up every day and you all you do is think about this. It's like, no, dude. No, dude. This is probably one of the biggest stories in fucking history, okay? Where potentially a foreign intelligence agent or even an agent of our own government was blackmailing American politicians like the President of the United States, Bill Clinton, possibly Donald Trump, other billionaires and very rich actors, and blackmailing them for who knows? For what reasons? This is like the biggest story. Trafficking children and raping young girls. This is one of the biggest stories ever. So this kind of whole argument of like, you wake up every day and you just think about this. It's like the dumbest thing ever, and anyone can see right through it. Let's continue.
This is into my top 3 things. But at this point with Epstein, we're not even sure what's real, what's rumor, what's myth, what's mystery. He's part monster. He's part complete mystery. We're not even sure what's happening.
What do you think?
So,
what do you think he is?
Here's what I think. So let me just go down some facts. So we arrested the guy that had the ownership of the island, the sex island. We arrested the lady that was allegedly bringing women to the island, to the sex island. But we haven't arrested or held anybody accountable for who was on the island. So there's a missing ingredient here. So what's the missing ingredient? It's, as I always say, follow the money. Who are these people? I would suspect they're the richest, most powerful people in the world. So here it is. Who do you want to please? Who do you want to upset? You have the elites, and then you have what I would call the angry mob. The elites are whispering, yo, bro, if you don't do this, I'm telling you right now. The mob are yelling, bro, I want to see the blah, blah, blah. You're going to upset somebody. So in my estimation, whether it's Pam Bondi, whether it's Trump himself, whether it's Bongino, whether it's Cash, They're saying the following. We're going to upset somebody here. If this thing comes out, we're going to have the richest, most powerful people in the world who we need, whether it's Bill Gates, whether it's Leon Black, whoever it is, we need them on our team because they know all the dirty secrets out there. We can't upset these guys. At the same time, we're going to upset some angry, loud, mob-type voices who are not going to let this go. So there's these two competing voices. Who do you want to upset? Who do you want to please? Do you want to please the elites or do you want to please the mob? And at this point, they're just siding with the elites.
Tom.
That's a pretty astute observation. And I think it's important that he said that because it really shows with the next clips I'm going to show that the guy is Trump first, MAGA first. He's not thinking of America or Americans or justice or righteousness, morality. He's not thinking about those things. He's thinking about what are the optics of the Trump administration. The argument he just laid out was one of the most, and I'm a Christian, I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, it's demonic. That's the most demonic argument I have ever heard in my life, okay? For you to say, who are we going to upset here? Are we going to upset the elites who were caught trafficking children and R-wording children and blackmailing each other for who knows what goals? For political power? For whatever it is? That's demonic. I'm sorry. You're sacrificing children's innocence for political power. That is literally demonic. That is as demonic as you can get. You're sacrificing children. You're sacrificing their innocence for political power. So, if it was the case that Donald Trump is making that calculation, congratulations, the guy is demonic. You just made the argument for me. I have another clip here from the same podcast. This is the exact same podcast. This is a couple minutes after.
I don't know what's going on here. I think it's the most sloppiest launch of a news that a big percentage of MAGA voters, Trump voters, wanted to find out. These are people that are Christians. These are people that are family people. These are people that probably have kids, nephews, nieces, who wanted to know what the hell happened here. This is by far the biggest fumble of this administration thus far.
And before he brings it to Adam, and Adam, again, you put a coin in, and he gives you the shittiest take in history. I want to first address this argument. This is another one of these MAGA first arguments. Oh, this is a fumble. This is how you get to a point where it's like, oh, I low-key agree with you guys, but I don't want to upset Donald Trump too much. This is a fumble. We fumbled the bag a little bit here. No! It's either Donald Trump is telling the truth and there's nothing going on at Epstein. Epstein didn't even exist. There are no girls that were R-worded. There's no girls that were trafficked. It was just Epstein and Ghislaine, no one else. Or this is the greatest cover-up in American history. Second to none only to probably the JFK assassination. Maybe 9/11. This is the greatest cover-up in American history. This is not a fumble. This is a strategic dropping of the ball. Okay? If Donald Trump was the quarterback here, or the runner, or whatever the fucking position is that holds the ball, trying to get a touchdown, running guy, quick foot motherfucker. If he's him, and he spikes the ball in the middle of the field because he's being paid off by the other team, that's what we're having here. It's not a fumble. The guy is strategically dropping the ball to not implicate his friends. Let's go on to Adam's point.
Well, you asked the original question, like who should be, how did you phrase it? Who should be most worried?
Conflicted.
Who's most conflicted? So you have Pam Bondi, you have Dan Bongino that you mentioned, you have Kash Patel. I think it's Kash, because I never even heard of Kash Patel until I heard him basically say, when I get in there, day one, FBI, I'm coming in, I'm cleaning house, everybody's going to know what's going down. And just add the Epstein to all the laundry list of conspiracies that we still don't know about. RFK, MLK, JFK, Roswell, aliens, 9/11. I don't know. Epstein's just now another thing on that list. In my opinion, here's what happens. You show up, you get to the government, you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and they Wizard of Oz your ass. And they go, yeah, tough guy? Yeah, you're real tough. How about this? Take a look at this. Is this what you want to expose? You want to bring down America? You want to bring down all these people? You want everyone to see what's on the Wizard of Oz? Shut your stupid mouth. And the guy goes, oh, damn. Oh, damn. And at some point, you're going to have to make the decision whether you want to do what Andrew Tate said. We're talking about, do you want to appease the elites and the people that are really actually running the country, or appease the angry mob? And the angry mob has a point, and so do the elites. And it's clear at this point who they're appeasing.
What point does the elites have? What's the point that they have? Hey, I don't want to go to jail for R-wording children? That's their point? Think about it. That's what he's saying. They have a point. The angry mob has a point. It's not the angry mob. Well, I'm a little angry, I'm not going to lie. It's not the angry mob, okay? It's American citizens with fucking red blood who see something that is evil. As close as you can get to as, like, evil. When you ask somebody, what's the most evil thing you can think of? This kind of operation would be probably top 3. Okay? This is the most evil operation that possibly happened ever. And you're saying, oh, they have a point. They don't want it exposed. They don't want to destroy our society. If our entire government was filled with these pedophiles, okay, let's just say like the max prestige conspiracy here. If everyone in the government was covered with pedophilia, everything is completely blackmailed, right? Worst case scenario, I would still want to torch this fucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing a Molotov cocktail in that hoe. I don't care if everything crumbles to the ground. We're getting our justice. Because that's the difference between America first, right? And it's not just America, Americans. Because if a girl gets R-worded across the country, and it's being implicit by the CIA, or Mossad, or any other government agency, because, I mean, Mossad is basically running our shit, then I would want to get rid of that, obviously. And that's like my sister, or my, niece, or, like, you're an American, okay? We have American, ties, okay? I'm an American, you're an American. When something happens to you, when you bleed, I feel it. And this is, like, the biggest example of that.
Who is it? They're appeasing the elites.
Yeah, because they know that the mob, us, we can't do anything. But Adam, I'm telling you as a Christian, how do you think God feels about this situation? How do you think God feels where people are like, well, we don't want to piss off the rich pedophiles, so guess what? The average American, the average person can't find out. And I have a question. You know the old saying, Adam, I said it before, let justice be done though the heavens fall. No matter what, justice has to be held up, no matter the consequences. Number one. Number two, here's my question, Pat, I want to ask you guys. What's worse? That allegedly Mossad used Epstein to run a blackmail ring with underage girls, number one, or that the world's most powerful men eagerly joined, while now the DOJ lies through its teeth and buries the evidence. Which one's worse?
Very astute observation. And that's a good question. What does God think about this? That's never in the minds of these type of people. They're never thinking about morality. Oh, what is right? What is righteous? No, it's it's like a chess game. Oh, my knight got taken. My secret sex operation got exposed. I'm just gonna move my bishop to e4 and just kind of protect that. It's like the dumbest shit ever, okay? I'm sorry. It's the dumbest thing ever. And I don't want to continue to harp on this. We have way more clips. This video is already at 32 minutes. The recording's already at 32 minutes. This is ridiculous. I'm yapping, guys. If you're still here, let me know. So this is the next video that they released.
So, I have a question for Vinny. Why do you think people are so obsessed with this story? And I'm not underplaying the story at all. I mean, I love...
Yes, you are. And you're going to see that he does that.
What PBD had to say on Jesse the other day about how the Trump administration has sort of fumbled the ball on this one, because we're hearing all different things. Bongino says one thing and he gets into office, he says another thing. Kash Patel shouting at the rooftops, paying Bondi. But, do I think he was an intelligence asset? Yeah, probably. Do I think he was doing something with the CIA, FBI, Mossad? They're even talking about KGB. This guy was everywhere.
No one's talking about KGB. No one says that shit. It's either Mossad or CIA. Most likely Mossad.
So why are people so obsessed with this story? Like, what are you hoping to find exactly?
Think about that question. Why are you so obsessed with the story? I don't know. I don't know why. Let's see what Vinny says.
What? I think, and I'll speak.
And Vinny is so like tired. You can just tell. Look at his face. Oh. He's so pissed at Adam. It's like Adam is a bad take generator, yo. I'm telling you, man.
It's a genuine question, because a lot of people are very preoccupied with this.
I think people like me, and I think a lot of people, especially the people that have been backing Trump, who we were promised results, we are not comfortable with anybody having a sex trafficking ring that has control over all of these politicians, over all these celebrities, out of all these singers. Adam, it doesn't sit well if decisions are being made from our government or from another government, okay? If he did work with Mossad, imagine this, Adam. Imagine you're a congressman, you're a president, you're whoever, you're an actor, and you were there. And then this country, let's say Israel, says, hey, listen, we want you to say X, Y, and Z. And you go, I ain't saying shit. I'm not backing this. I'm not doing that. And they go, oh, really? Check your email, and you open the email, and it's an encrypted video of you hooking up with an underage kid. Then guess what happens? They own you. So imagine policies, rules, laws being made by that. That's number one, Adam. Number two, we were promised, if you weren't going to do it, shut the hell up. All of you, from the top to the bottom. Stop bullshitting us, okay? We're not stupid. The average American, they try to make MAGA people, we're stupid hits from down south. We're not stupid. We all know the truth, okay? He fucking worked, sorry for my language, he worked for intelligence. They said he worked for intelligence. We all know who he worked for. Let's stop playing the games, and then they lie. If you weren't going to do it, don't say it. And Pine Bondi, don't sit in a restaurant, talk that shit, and then go on the lawn, White House lawn, and say you have it, and then lie to us as if we're stupid. As if we're stupid, Adam. And the third one is the kids, which should be number one. These kids are either dead or they're ruined for the rest of their lives, Adam. That's what it comes down to. And I'm not yeah, I am obsessed with it, but I'm not gonna let it go. And I implore everybody, guys, this is gonna be a story just like JFK, just like everything, just like the Russian collusion, just like freaking COVID. We're gonna forget about it. And it's just not right, Adam. We're being leveraged by other countries. Could it be Mossad? Could it be the MI6? Could it be KGB? No, bro. We have to have accountability to know. Because Adam, if we don't stop it now, it's gonna keep happening. Plain and simple. That's it. That's why I'm obsessed with it.
So you just heard that entire spiel, okay? Now, like, fucking guess what Adam says, okay? Just guess what he says, okay?
Totally appreciate your perspective and why you get completely emotional, especially on the child sex trafficking thing.
Completely emotional. Like, everything he says is like a subtle dig to Vinny, and also to Americans like me who really care about this topic, because again, I explained previously, but
I think, as I've said before, there's things that matter and there's things that you can control. And where I tend to focus is where those two things intersect. And I know we have a big platform, so we have the ability to have these types of conversations. In my opinion, there's a lot of people that are obsessed with this,
Yes.
that they have zero control over this. And these are the types of people, in my opinion, that a lot of these people are what I would call losers, or as what Andrew Tate described as brokies. And they're fat, they're broke, they're losers, they can't get this, they can't get that. They're struggling with work, they're struggling in their relationships. They have nothing going on in their life.
okay? I just so happen to be fat. I just so happen to be a loser. But guess what? I'm a fucking American, okay? You might be right about your whole description there, okay? About people who care about this topic. But what I'll tell you is this. Us losers are gonna be the ones who change this fucking bullshit. The American government is here for the American people. Not oligarchs, not rich businessmen, not politicians. It's here for the American people. So, when you have fire in your heart, when you have conviction that something is wrong, say it from your chest. It doesn't matter if there's some fat on there, okay? It doesn't matter if when you're talking your chin jiggles a little bit. It doesn't matter if you're broke. It doesn't matter if you have nothing going on. What matters is that you say what is right and you demand better outcomes for our country and for our countrymen. And if it is true that the government is hiding this elite pedophile ring, this is something, it doesn't matter. We need everybody on the fucking field, okay? We need the fat asses, we need the losers, we need the brokies to come here and say, no, this is wrong. Because at the end of the day, when we realize as Americans that we have the numbers, when we realize as Americans this entire operation is built on our sweat and blood, on our laborers, on our children working and producing better outcomes for the society, when the entire machine is run on us, we are the fuel to the machine. We can demand better, okay? And when people like this, Adam sucks dick, this guy is a loser. I'm sorry. You're sold out. Yeah, you have money. Yeah, you have a suit on. You're on a big platform. You're the loser. Sorry to tell you, okay? You're the one who's out here playing defense for pedophiles and rich elites and oligarchs, because you know who pays the bills. So, at the end of the day, forget people like this. People like this are detrimental to our society. Focus on what makes America better. And when every single person agrees on this issue, again, it's bipartisan, Democrat, Republican, Independent, anyone with an IQ higher than 40 looks at this situation and says something ain't right here. And it's this guy, Adam Sucksdick, who's going to be the one who goes, who are you going to upset, the elites or the oligarchs? It's ridiculous, okay? It's ridiculous. So, we missed out on this clip. I forgot to talk about it when I was recording, but while I was editing, I remembered this clip existed. I do want to go through it because this is probably one of the most telling ones of Adam Sucks Dick. Let's get into it.
So let me just...
Is that guy? Show that picture, Rob? That's me, Adam? Oh my God.
And for context, Adam was telling him to pull this up because Vinny is a crazy conspiracy theorist who cares way too much about this topic. And why aren't you caring about the economy? Why aren't you caring about immigration? Again, the same logical fallacy I explained a couple minutes ago was really stupid. Let's go.
Adam, is somebody asking questions and connecting dots? That's who you think I am.
If you're wrong, that may very well be you.
Prove me wrong.
Well,
there's no fucking proof.
All right, so then...
That's another thing. the burden of proof is on the Trump administration. They're the ones who have the evidence, and they don't want to release it. So if I go and I have a question about it, you can't go out and say I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. It's because the Trump administration are the ones who are keeping this hidden. Let's continue.
Where's the proof?
Okay, so then we'll go around in circles.
Go
here.
ahead.
So let me just unpack this. Mossad is at the top of the list. There's nobody bigger on this particular thing.
Meaning he was working
they're
for
running
them.
the show.
Oh yeah.
So not CIA, not FBI,
That's
not
the main.
So Mossad's number one.
The guy's name is Jeffrey Epstein. Ehud Barak and all these guys were visiting his apartment. There's photos covering their faces leaving his house.
So
yeah.
because he's Jewish, obviously
And the
Mossad.
Again, and this is why I don't like Adam so much. Right? Let me lower this. I think I'm talking a little bit too loud. This is why I don't like Adam so much, because he is smart enough to know what Vinny is saying. Vinny is not saying because the guy is Jewish, therefore he's Mossad. He literally just said in the same sentence, again, Adam is intentionally not understanding him because he is a bad actor and he acts maliciously. He is saying, oh, so you think it's because he's Jewish? He just said in the same sentence, no, it's because one of the former prime ministers of Israel would go to his house regularly and were friends with him. And there's more evidence, too, that Vinny's going to bring up.
Okay, and hold on, but because you want to go there, Adam, as of late, has Donald Trump, who was beefing with Bibi, because Bibi and them had Mike Waltz in a cabinet meeting texting Israel, trying to get us into a war with Iran. Trump was like, no. He was like, hell no. Went to the Middle East, didn't even visit him. And then all of a sudden, Adam, I'm going to go to war, I'm going to bomb, and Epstein is all bullshit.
So
weird, Adam. Isn't that weird?
I'm going to ask some questions before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Mossad's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Bibi Netanyahu's controlling Trump. And Israel is dictating policy America.
Hold on.
Is that what's going on?
So you don't think AIPAC in our
so
freaking
AIPAC as well. Okay.
Adam,
so
it's not hard to put this together.
obviously, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So Israel controls America.
Israel
period.
has very, very strong influence over our policy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry that it
Cool.
hurts.
Cool. We get it. We found out.
Oh, but hold on, Adam.
Right.
Does that make me anti-Semitic?
No, it makes you.
Does that make me hate
Vinny,
Jewish people?
You haven't said one thing that might not be true.
Okay.
You're probably 100% true. But just in case you're not, let's say you're absolutely right. You did it. You, Vinny Oshana, cracked the code. If I can see that picture one more time.
Yeah.
You cracked the code. You did it. You did it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Mossad, Epstein,
Yes.
Trump, he's owned.
Yeah.
Now what?
What do you mean?
What do you
now
want to do
what?
now? You cracked the code.
Now what? Everybody that was involved, Adam, goes to jail. There's a trial, and you go to jail.
Okay.
Look how
What
bad
is?
it And Adam, you know why?
And again, it's such an obvious answer, and Adam asked such a stupid question. Well, if we had all this evidence on people, what would we do then? Put them in jail, obviously. That's like a 2 + 2 = 4 level calculation. Let's continue.
To be critical as well, how much American dollars goes to Israel every year? Anybody want to guess? $4
billion.
So you know what that means? I can have any opinion I want because my money is invested in that group.
Well, there's
So
a lot of countries that.
I don't care.
money goes
Then
to.
I can talk about all
So
of
that's
them.
the only. So let's talk
Adam,
about every other country.
Jail.
So Israel's the only country.
No.
Again, a really stupid argument from Adam. Again, we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, his Mossad connections. We're talking about the Israeli influence over America. We're talking about something very specific about a very specific country. And Adam continuously playing defense for Israel like he always does. He always does this. He plays defense for Israel saying, well, why don't we talk about any other country that receives a nickel or a dime from America? Completely ignoring the fact that the Israeli lobbying firm is allowed to lobby in America without any kind of FAR restrictions, the fact that they receive a shit ton of our money constantly, the fact that our foreign policy has aligned with theirs and pushed their foreign interests and to the detriment of America's foreign interests. Doesn't talk about any of that, and he goes, well, why don't we talk about any of these other countries? It's a defense of Israel. It's a defensive position he's taking, and he's constantly taking this position. It's going to get even worse from here. It's going to get even worse from here.
Go back to your point. Okay. What do I want? Adam, I want jail. Okay. And if, God forbid, the president of the United States was involved with it, guess what? Same for him.
Which president?
Our president.
Okay.
If he
so
was
you want Trump to go to jail now?
If he was...
And then again, with sorry, I don't want to say that word, but with the stupidest point. If Donald Trump is complicit, I want him to go to jail. Oh, so you want Trump to go to jail now? It shows the MAGA first, the Trump first mindset. These people do not care about America. These people do not care about justice or morality. These people solely care for their team and their tribe to win. That's all they care about. And people like Adam Suckstick is like so blatant with it. to the point where it's like, if you go through these comments, they're all blasting him. He's going to get even worse from here. Like, you think this is the worst part? I'm going to keep playing.
Underage girls, 1,000%.
So if Trump was with a
I'll
17-year-old
say it
girl
again. When he was
20
40 years
ago,
old, yes.
So you want
it's
Trump
called
to go to jail?
pedophile. Hold on, let me ask you. Is it illegal? Can you have sex with a 17-year-old in New York?
35 states.
In New York?
Oh, in 35 states, well, technically, it's not illegal to fuck a 16-year-old because in the statute of limitations, it's like, you see the argument you're making, right? Like, do you understand what's going on right now? Do you see the implications of your questions, or the implications of what you're trying to defend here? It gets even worse.
The age is 16, and then in certain states it's 18. According to some Muslim scriptures, you could be 9.
So it's
What? Listen to the argumentation. Listen to the cope, the mental cope coming from Adam's fucking mouth, and it's constant. This guy needs to get removed from this podcast. And actually, no, I don't want to be removed. I take that back. Because he makes good content. I'm constantly arguing with Vinny. But, bro, I don't know how you say those words. When we're talking about, hey, if Donald Trump is complicit in this Epstein situation, he should go to jail. Oh, what if he was only with the 17-year-old? Like, what a weird thing to say. What a weird thing to say. And then you go, well, in some Muslim scriptures, you could be 9 years old. Like, Adam, please use your fucking brain here, dude. It's like, and the guy obviously does use his brain. The guy is obviously intelligent. He does this on purpose because he's running defense for Donald Trump and he's running defense for Israel. That's his purpose. And it's very, very blatant. He does that. The guy is not America first. He's not Americans first. He doesn't care about justice. He doesn't care about morality. The guy cares about his tribe being propagated. That's it. Actually, let me talk about, real quick, this clip of Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is the one disingenuous person, okay? If you watch Ben Shapiro, just realize that you are getting propaganda. He'll fatten up the pig talking about socialists and communists and, like, trans people in sports. He'll fatten you up with all those things that, we can agree on. And then he'll just bait and switch you with, like, hey, we should be giving infinite money to Israel. Hey, we should be supporting the Israeli government in literal genocide. And another thing here is, again, he's a Trump first, MAGA first, but more importantly, he's Israel first. But that's not really the topic we're talking about today. Today we're talking about the Epstein stuff, and this is his defense of Epstein. And this is the most egregious form of Trump first and MAGA first instead of America first I've seen.
Traffic in conspiracy. It turns out that people who consistently traffic in trash, people who spend your time, your few brief breaths on this planet, filling your mind with stupidity, playing a WWE character. Listen, if you want to watch Alex Jones in the same way that you watch WWE, because you know that the WWE is people who are fake jumping on each other and you find it dramatic and interesting, more power to you. But if you're watching WWE and you think it's real, that makes you the stupid person. Don't do it. Don't do it. Seriously, it makes you dumber. It just makes you... In the end, you're responsible for the information that enters your brain and your independent judgment of that information. But if people are consistently being inauthentic, if people openly acknowledge...
I agree, honestly. If use your brain, if you can tell when someone's being inauthentic, you could use your brain on there.
Knowledge that what they're saying to you publicly and what they say privately are two different things on the same matters, well, then maybe you ought to take what they say with a grain of salt rather than suggesting that, for example, Donald Trump is lying to you about Jeffrey Epstein, or Dan Bongino, with whom I am friends, is lying to you about Jeffrey Epstein, or Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, is lying to you about Jeffrey Epstein, because those are your only two choices here. Either Alex Jones, as is usual, blew a conspiracy theory out of proportion, and so did the rest of the internet, or Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Donald Trump are all lying to you.
You heard it there. Those are the two options we have. Either, again, he does a false dichotomy. He's like, oh, either you support Alex Jones, because you got to be an insane conspiracy theorist to think that there's anything going on here in the Epstein situation. You're basically Alex Jones. Or you think Trump is lying. The heresy! Trump lying? Never seen it before in my life. Obviously, yeah. Can I choose that option? Hey, Trump is possibly lying. Can I choose the option if Dan Bongino's lying? Yeah, I can choose that option too. Yeah, I'll go with that. And Kash Patel too. Yeah, I'll take that too. Yeah, 3. Let's see if I want to. Let's see if I want a fucking gift. Let's see how many ticks do I get. Can I get one of those Chinese finger traps now? This is stupid, okay? Listen to the guy. I mean, he made a good point. Watch somebody, see if they're being authentic, and make your decisions then. And honestly, Adam Sucks Dick is being inauthentic, Char Like Cuck is being inauthentic, and Ben Shapiro is being inauthentic. Sorry. That's about it for today. I got a little heated, specifically to Adam, because Adam pisses me. Like, Adam really annoys the shit out of me, okay? Adam really annoys me. Sorry if I got a little heated there. But I'm passionate about this, okay? This is important. And yes, I'm obese. Yes, I'm a loser. Yes, I'm broke. But this matters, okay? Thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. Peace.